Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that might make your passport sweat. Countries that have decided Israeli citizens need not apply for a visitor's visa. We're talking about outright bans, folks. Now you might be thinking, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Denying someone entry based solely on their citizenship? And you wouldn't be wrong to think that. But as with most things in geopolitics, the reasons are complicated, steeped in historical baggage, and often as frustrating as trying to fold a fitted sheet. These bans are often rooted in deep-seated political disagreements, historical conflicts, and sometimes just a big old helping of "we don't like you, so go away." So, buckle up as we navigate this diplomatic minefield, exploring the contentious relationship between Israel and the countries that have shut their borders to its citizens. We'll look at the historical context, the official reasons, or lack thereof, and the human impact of these travel restrictions. Because while a stamp in your passport might seem like a small thing, it can represent much larger issues of identity, belonging, and international relations. Our first stop is Algeria, a North African nation with a bone to pick, or perhaps more accurately, a state of Israel to completely disregard. Algeria's stance is less of a "no Israelis allowed" and more of a "what Israelis? We don't see any Israelis here." Algeria, along with a handful of other countries, has never officially recognized Israel as a state. This non-recognition stems from Algeria's staunch support for Palestinian self-determination, and their view of Israel's establishment as an illegal occupation of Palestinian territory. Algeria's position reflects a deep-seated ideological commitment to the Palestinian cause. Officially, Israeli passport holders are barred entry, though rare exceptions are made for humanitarian reasons or high-level diplomatic talks. For the average Israeli citizen, Algeria remains firmly off-limits, a reminder that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has global ramifications. Next up, we travel east to Bangladesh, a country deeply invested in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Bangladesh's stance on Israel is rooted in its own history of fighting for independence and its strong sense of solidarity with other nations seeking self-determination. Since its independence in 1971, Bangladesh has been a vocal advocate for Palestinian rights at the United Nations and other international forums. This unwavering support for Palestine has come at a cost. Bangladesh maintains a strict no-entry policy for Israeli citizens, regardless of the reason for travel. Even humanitarian workers and journalists have been denied visas, highlighting the firm nature of this stance. Some might argue that this policy is counterproductive, hindering dialogue and understanding between the two nations. For Bangladesh, solidarity with Palestine is non-negotiable, even if it means closing its doors to Israeli citizens. Let's hop over to the island of Borneo, where we find the Sultanate of Brunei. Brunei has a specific stance on Israel. They don't officially recognize it, and Israeli citizens aren't on the guest list. Brunei's position on Israel is partly shaped by its religious convictions and its view of Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories as a violation of Islamic principles. Brunei also sees the issue through the lens of international law, viewing Israel's settlements in the West Bank as illegal and a major obstacle to peace. This unwavering support for Palestine translates into a straightforward policy. Israeli citizens are prohibited from entering Brunei. Even those with dual citizenship are advised to travel on their other passport to avoid detention at the Bruneian border. Brunei's message is clear: solidarity with Palestine trumps tourism, and their doors remain firmly shut to Israeli passport holders. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're heading into territory that's a bit more heated. That's right, we're talking about Iran. Iran and Israel don't exactly exchange holiday cards. In fact, Iran's supreme leader has called for Israel's destruction. Iran's stance on Israel is rooted in a complex web of religious, ideological, and geopolitical factors. They view Israel as an illegitimate state and a threat to regional stability. Since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran has been a staunch supporter of Palestinian militant groups, viewing the Palestinian struggle as part of a larger Islamic resistance. Israeli citizens are about as welcome in Iran as a vegan at a barbecue festival. It's a complete and utter ban with no exceptions. Next on our list is Kuwait, a small but mighty Gulf nation with a big no when it comes to Israeli passport holders. Kuwait bars anyone suspected of having even visited Israel, as evidenced by those pesky little stamps in your passport. Kuwait's stance on Israel stems from its unwavering support for the Palestinian cause and its membership in the Arab League. The Kuwaiti government views Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories as illegal and a major obstacle to peace. This translates into a zero-tolerance policy for anything even remotely related to Israel. Kuwait's message is clear. Solidarity with Palestine trumps tourism and business, and their borders remain firmly closed to anyone even suspected of having set foot in Israel. Let's shift our focus north to Lebanon, a country whose history with Israel is, to put it mildly, complicated. Lebanon and Israel are officially in a state of war and have been for decades. Lebanon has long been a base for Hezbollah, a powerful Shia militant group backed by Iran. Given this history, it's hardly surprising that Lebanon isn't exactly rolling out the red carpet for Israeli citizens. Israeli citizens are strictly prohibited from entering. This ban isn't just a matter of government policy, it's deeply ingrained in Lebanese society. Lebanon's message is clear. As long as the conflict with Israel continues, their borders will remain firmly closed. Our journey takes us next to Libya, a North African nation that's no stranger to turmoil and upheaval. Libya's stance on Israel has been largely shaped by Gaddafi's pan-Arabist ideology and his unwavering support for the Palestinian cause. Following the 2011 revolution, Libya's transitional government maintained the ban on Israeli citizens. They've expressed solidarity with the Palestinian people and have called for a two-state solution. While officially, Israeli citizens are barred from entering Libya, it's unclear how strictly this ban is enforced on the ground. The lack of a centralized government and the presence of multiple power centers make it difficult to get a clear picture of the situation. Libya's current state of instability and its long-standing policy towards Israel make it a no-go zone for the foreseeable future. Let's journey eastward to Pakistan, a nation with a complex and often tumultuous history of its own. Pakistan, like several other countries on our list, has never formally recognized Israel as a state. This decision is rooted in a combination of factors, including religious solidarity with the Muslim world and a deep-seated commitment to the Palestinian cause. Pakistan's founder, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, was a strong advocate for Muslim unity and saw the creation of Israel as a betrayal of the Palestinian people. Over the years, Pakistan has consistently supported the Palestinian struggle for self-determination at international forums. This unwavering support for Palestine translates into a firm no-entry policy for Israeli citizens. Pakistan's message is clear: solidarity with Palestine is non-negotiable, even if it means closing its doors to Israeli citizens. Buckle up, folks, because we're heading into a region that's about as volatile as a bag full of lit firecrackers: Syria. Syria and Israel have been locked in a state of war since the establishment of the Israeli state in 1948. Syria has never recognized Israel as a legitimate state, viewing it as an occupying power and a threat to regional stability. Given this history of conflict and animosity, it's hardly surprising that Syria isn't exactly welcoming Israeli citizens with open arms. Syria's borders are effectively sealed to anyone holding an Israeli passport. As long as the conflict with Israel continues, those borders are staying shut tighter than a drum. And finally, we arrive at our last stop: Yemen. Yemen, like many other Arab countries, has never formally recognized Israel as a state. This stance stems from a combination of factors, including solidarity with the Palestinian people and historical grievances. Yemen played a role in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, viewing the conflict as a pan-Arab struggle against Zionist expansionism. This unwavering support for Palestine translates into a strict no-entry policy for Israeli citizens. Yemen's borders are effectively closed to anyone holding an Israeli passport. As long as the conflict with Israel continues, those borders are staying closed tighter than a politician's wallet during a government shutdown. Final thoughts. Travel bans in the future. So there you have it, a glimpse into the complex and often contentious relationship between Israel and the countries that have chosen to bar its citizens from entry. These travel bans are not just bureaucratic hurdles, they represent deeply held beliefs, historical grievances, and a fundamental disagreement over the very existence of Israel. They serve as a stark reminder that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not just a regional dispute, but one with global ramifications. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you in the next video.